Hey everybody, Josh Brown here, managing editor with Fishers Magazine. I'm at Fishers Youth Assistance Offices today with Linda Carlino, former Hamilton Southeastern Sports Director, right? Now, of course, with Board Director with the Fishers Youth Assistance Program. We're talking about the Summer Meals Program this summer, which is a huge program, if you haven't heard, that they have going on. Was really successful last year, so you guys are doing it for a second year.
Right.
Just jumping in and just tell us what this program is all about.
Well, it's a program that started last year, like you said, that there are people sitting around, be it from this group, which works with kids and services kids in the community, some of the mayor and some others, and some churches. And it just came up sometime that somebody asked what happens to the kids who are on free and reduced lunch during the summer. Hamilton Southeastern is a huge school district. About 11 or 12% of the kids receive free or reduced lunch, which doesn't sound like a lot. In our district, that's 3,400 kids.
Right.
So that's a lot of kids. So somebody just asked about that at one point in time and just kind of said, what happens? And due to the school funding and the way it's set up, there is nothing that covers those kids and those meals. So last year, a group got together and it was kind of a last minute thing and decided, what can we throw together to try and help out? And so last year they served about 185 kids. And they serve breakfast and lunch, and they don't do the actual cooking. So what we do is we get the bags and the groceries and everything ready.
Right.
We work with Andrea Ray, who is with the school district. She does all of the meals and everything for all the kids in the district, and she puts together a menu for us, and it's very kid friendly, so the kids can actually do their menus and things like that. So we get a menu, and then we go to a store, we shop, we get everything ready, we haul it all to one location. And then we have volunteers who help sort through that, put bags together for each of the kids, and then parents will pick that up once a week, and then they'll take that home, and that'll set them for the whole week.
Right. And as we were talking about this, obviously last year was the first full year for us. Pretty good community response. Talk a little bit about those numbers last year, how many kids you guys fed, the goal you hit, and maybe the goal you're looking for this summer.
Last year, they said it varied because sometimes the numbers of pickup just varies.
Right.
It was from 165 to 185 kids last year. And that was basically just kind of word of mouth, and they used a Snack Attack, which is a program that some of the kids get snacks sent home with them if they need a little bit of help over the weekend. And so we just basically focused on that, which was a much smaller group. So this year we're using the network, the school network that parents use, Skyward, and trying to get the information out. So last year, again, 185. Our goal this year is 400. So we're hoping to do that.
Yeah.
So that would be 400 kids. It comes out to be about 36,000 meals.
Right.
About $66,000. So we're not doing all of it with the money. We're getting a lot of donations. We're doing in kind. So we're just hoping to get all the kids signed up. They're doing that this week and next week. And then once we know a little bit more about what our numbers are, we have the volunteers set. We have a location this year, which is great. Last year they had to go kind of from location to location.
Right.
And they used some of the township offices, which was great, but it made it hard on the volunteers because you had to go set up and then clean up and take things back and forth. This year we're able to get Fishers Junior High.
Awesome.
So we're able to put everything in there to store it, to distribute, to pack, and everything, which I think for the volunteers will make a huge difference.
Sure. And you talk about that number, right? It sounds pretty big, but I think you'd mentioned, it's under $2 a meal.
Right, it's $1.80 a meal.
Right.
So, and again, like I said, people want to help. I've gone out to various community events and coalitions and things like that, and they ask two questions. The first one is, "Wow, how come I don't know this?"
Right.
People in Fishers don't think that there's people that need help and assistance.
Sure.
It's known as an affluent community, and then so once they understand it, the second question is, "How can I help?" So that's what everybody's been asking too. That I don't think people feel comfortable knowing in our community that there are people that are in need. Somebody's hit a hard time, somebody's lost a job, a parent has passed away. There's all sorts of things that can happen.
Right.
So that we're just trying to help the kids to get through and make sure that they know that they won't have to go hungry.
Sure. And explain maybe for those who don't know, obviously the Summer Meals Program is going to be happening June 4th through July 23rd.
Correct.
Right. Explain kind of the process, how that works. You mentioned the place where the pickup will be Fishers Junior High School,
Right.
but what is that process going to look like as these meals come in?
So what'll happen is we actually put together a big, huge grocery list. And at the end of 1 week, and then on Monday morning we go pick it up. So this year, which is kind of fun, we have actually one of the football teams.
Okay.
HSC football team is going to help because it took a lot to load all of that up last year.
Right.
So we have some football players, which we thought they wanted to help. And we thought, what a great way to do it.
Sure, yeah.
So they'll load up all the groceries. We have a box truck to do that. They'll take it over to Fishers Junior High School, and either they or last year the firefighters unloaded it for us. So everybody was getting involved, which is
Pitching
great.
in, yeah.
Right. So they'll unload the van for us. And then we will have volunteers set up from 9 to noon to help us put all that together. So
Okay.
each week there's 3 different menus, and it'll rotate week 1, week 2, and week 3. And then we'll have like what each child's bag needs, be it if it's macaroni and cheese that week or it's quesadillas or whatever.
Right.
And people will load up all of those bags. So that'll be in the morning. And then from 1:30 to 7:30, we'll have the families be able to come in. And so they'll sign up what time helps for them, and we'll have volunteers help them. So each child will have a bag. So if you have 3 kids, you'd get 3 bags.
Okay.
And then things like we have cereals and things like that. So there'll be a table so parents can pick that out. So
Sure.
we're not picking out what you get. We'll help you with the basic things, and then there'll be things like the cereals and stuff like that, as well as we'll also have some of the perishables, so your fruits, your vegetables,
Right.
and things like that as well.
Awesome. Well, so obviously it sounds like volunteers really is kind of course you
Exactly.
want donations.
Yes.
You're looking for donations.
Yes.
And towards the end of this, we'll tell you guys how you can donate and get involved. But it sounds like you're really in need of some volunteers.
We are.
Maybe explain a little bit of the volunteer side of what you're looking for people
Okay.
to jump in and do.
Yep. We are actually putting it on our website, which is youthassistance.org, and they do need to go /Fishers because there's one in each community.
Right.
So Carmel has one, Noblesville, or
Right.
whatever. So, and there'll be a sign up genius there. And actually, you can go on and it'll tell you how many spots we need for what areas of the day. So I think it comes out to be 40 a day, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you start to get into 8 or 9 weeks, 40
Yeah.
is a lot.
Sure.
So we've actually even had a couple of companies call us and say they've been interested.
Awesome.
A Boy Scout group or whatever. So there's been groups that have come, which is really good. The city does one day. So anybody who, if they know that they have a group, or if they just want to come and help themselves,
Right.
starting in about a week and a half on our website, there'll be a sign up genius, and you just can go. And last year, knock on wood, last year we filled up every single spot.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we had plenty of volunteers, which was great. But we'll need, again, doubling it this year. We're going to need more people this year.
Right. And that morning shift, you're looking for people to help prepare, package the meals.
Exactly,
Right.
that 9 to
The,
3.
the
or 9 to noon.
afternoon, night shift will be more kind of
Right.
handling people coming in to grab
Correct,
bags.
and that's why in the afternoon one we do put a restriction on it that they need to be adults.
Right.
Just because there's some privacy in there that not everybody
Sure.
wants to know that. So in the morning we set it at 14 and up so that people can help and pack and things like that. The 1:30 to 7:30 we're actually working directly with families. We do ask that those be adults.
Right. And talk a little bit about, because some people maybe don't know that this is kind of in conjunction with you guys, right? The Pack the
Yes,
Cruiser
it is.
event coming up June, what date is
June
that?
2nd, Saturday, June 2nd.
Saturday, June 2nd. Pack the Cruiser is another big event that
It
kind of
is.
blew up last year. Go out to your local Kroger, especially the one down here off 116th, and get involved. Tell people
Right.
a little bit about what that event is like.
They did that last year again for the first time, and Officer Dean Muha is one of the detectives who kind of started that up.
Right.
And again, that has exploded. This last year they did it at the one on 116th in Cumberland.
Mm-hmm.
This year it's actually all countywide. So at
Really?
every Kroger in all of Hamilton County,
Awesome.
they will be doing this. So Detective has helped work with some of the other stores. In fact, in Fishers now we'll have 3 stores. So what happened last year is from 10 to 2, the police officers and again volunteers are standing out front on their off time, actually helping, asking people to donate. And so what
Right.
we do so that it helps with our menu, we actually will have a sheet of paper. So they give them that sheet of paper, and this is a great time to teach your kids and things like that. So they'll go
Giving
into
back.
exactly.
Right.
So they'll go into Kroger, they'll fill it out, and they'll come back in, and then they fill up the cruiser. So that was the whole idea. They thought last year, we'll get enough food to fill up a cruiser or 2. Last year, without a lot of publicity, they filled up 9 cruisers.
Right.
So this year, we're expecting a
Bigger
huge,
goal.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so then those cruisers will just kind of go over to Fishers Junior High School. We'll have people there to unload them, and they'll go back. So we're hoping to get a huge turnout that day.
Right. And that's a really easy way that people
Exactly.
can get out and get involved
Exactly.
and pick the items that you guys
Right.
need. Like you said, take the kids along. They see, it's a great way to give back and help
Right.
people
That
out.
not everybody has what they have.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So let's see. I mean, we talked about donations. I mean, for you, I think you talked to me a little bit about this, of how you just got involved. What drew you into this program that got you excited for it?
I was sitting at a board meeting last year. And
Lots of board meetings.
Yeah, lots of board meetings. And I was in with that group too that I was just kind of dumbfounded. Like,
Sure.
I didn't think about it. And so, there's just, the kids are really important in our community,
Right.
and as adults, that's our job to make sure. And one of the easiest things is to make sure they have food. Again, I think we all take that for granted,
Sure.
but we need to make sure that, and that it's hard to go to school, it's hard to play, it's hard to do anything if you have to worry, am I going to be hungry?
Right.
So it's something that we can do, and it's just sometimes in a community like Fishers is being the person to get it all together. There's so many people out there who want to help. It's just kind of telling people what we need, where we need it, and how we need it. So, it's a big job, but it's also a really, heartwarming job that there's just so many people in our community who want to help.
Right. Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. That's kind of the gist of the summer meals program. Like Linda said, be looking for that sign up sheet soon online.
Yep.
I think you mentioned maybe mid-May.
Yeah, another week or two, probably, because it's May tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, it is May. Forgot what month it is.
I know.
Look for that sign up sheet soon in May and get involved, get plugged into this. Even if you don't have time to volunteer,
Right.
it's such an easy way to just donate and give back to the community and help these kids stay fed during the summer.
And
So
they're all our kids.
exactly,
Yeah,
all in our backyard. So
Yep.
Linda, thank you so
Yep.
much for taking
Thanks.
some time to chat with us today. Guys, be on the lookout for this story soon online at fishers.com and in the magazine soon in June as well. And thanks again for
Thank you for
taking
putting
some
it out
time.
there,
Of
too.
course. Thank you, guys.